ICANSERVE Foundation, I have the distinct pleasure to welcome you all again. It is our third and final day of the Southeast Asia Breast Cancer Symposium, and we are proud to be able to host this and have you all join us today. As a breast cancer survivor and as co-founder of ICANSERVE Foundation, I know firsthand there are just some things you cannot do alone. In the last 23 years, our foundation has always been staunch believers that no matter how long and arduous the road is, we are stronger on this journey when we are together. So again, thank you to all who have gathered to help make this a reality. Thank you Pfizer, Roche, AIA Philippines, Novartis, the De Guzman Group, NutriAsia, Unilab, In the Pink, Healthway. Thank you Globe for providing us the connectivity and SEDA for being our home away from home. Thank you for generously being on this road with us. Yesterday was busy, enriching, and empowering. How do you summarize an entire afternoon with 12 sessions and 30 speakers, with topics ranging from personalized medicine to finding the courage and composure in the midst of an advanced breast cancer diagnosis? From managing unwelcome side effects from treatment to elevating our advocacy via social media. From the role of Ki-67 and HER2 low in making decisions about treatment to future-fitting our organizations. But I will try. In contrast to the one-size-fits-all treatment approach many of us are accustomed to, on day 2, we discussed personalized medicine and how the most important aspect is humanizing healthcare. Proper nutrition plays a key part in our cancer journey. No single food can protect you against cancer, but shifting to a plant-based rich dietary plan has significant effects. We tackle the all-important pressing dilemma: how can I get money if I have cancer? The sad fact is, cancer can be a significant burden and can deplete the financial resources of one entire family. Financial navigation is essential to connect patients to resources. In addressing locally advanced breast cancer, a multidisciplinary approach is important. Defining the cancer is necessary to design the treatment plan. Treatment side effects are taxing. Many of us will never forget the nausea, the fatigue, body aches and pains that came with it. These side effects can be managed when we are active partners in our treatment. Remember what we learned yesterday. Your doctor knows everything about your cancer treatment, but he or she does not know what you need. Tell your doctor what you need. The proper mental mindset and one circle of support, especially in advanced breast cancer, is pivotal. Psychological support should be part and parcel of one's cancer treatment. Not only does it improve one's quality of life, but it has key implications on one's clinical outcomes. There is a saying, if there is a way to do it better, then find it. We met a group of unique innovators who took that extra step. Instead of merely finding it, they created it. Are we all ready for the future? Organizations need to be flexible and adaptable. We all need to adapt the growth mindset in acknowledging that learning never stops. It is an ongoing process because this world we live in is constantly changing. Here are a few highlights from yesterday.
And I'll be moderating this session. So without further ado, I will introduce our speaker.
This topic is very close to my heart. There's a lot of things that we can do to improve patient-centered outcome.
We as healthcare professionals, we are the supporting system. Become partners in crime.
I just said, how long will I live? That was the only question. Live your life the way you want it to be, like live it to the fullest, and let the medical team handle your cancer.
I would like to share with you and hopefully inspire you on how we can make personalized healthcare a reality for all of us today through co-creation and partnerships. Personalized healthcare is something that is meant for all of us.
So Boost is a UK-based company. We're really proud that women's voices are heard and their feedback is action through the way our project is set up.
Can we substitute sugar with a plant-based sugar?
So it's just sugar, but there's no other nutrients. Avoid those empty calorie sugar.
Can you over-exercise if you're a cancer survivor? Can you do too much?
It may, instead of reducing the lymphedema, it may also hurt the body as well. So I would suggest to follow the guidelines in order to do it more excessively.
It's like building a fire in the forest because it's dark and you want to bring everyone in. So from here on, burn something to burn the forest so people will pay attention. Okay? That is that's advocacy on social media.
We would like to thank Global Focus on Cancer for giving us the honor to host this symposium. When we received the invitation, we responded with a resounding yes. Let's be honest, it was hard to say no. Let's be even more honest. It was harder to say no to this wonderful lady who I will welcome to the stage shortly. Our next speaker is instrumental in helping us look at cancer from a different lens. She has helped change the picture of cancer, literally. As a photographer and survivor, she began a photo documentary to perfectly illustrate how truly universal the fight for cancer is. It was in her travels, photographing and interviewing survivors from all parts of the globe, that she discovered the pressing demand for better awareness and better education. She's the founder, president, and one of the pillars of Global Focus on Cancer, an organization that makes it its mission to act as an agent of change, aiding in reducing the global burden of cancer. Her early diagnosis drives her to do the admirable work that she does, which includes, but is not limited to, serving as Global Cancer Care Advocate and as a content specialist with the Women's Empowerment Cancer Advocacy Network. More difficult than everything on her already overflowing plate is the added Herculean task of taking Kara's daily, let's be honest, more than 10 times a day messages, calls, and Zoom links, even when they are 2 in the morning, her time. We are so honored to have her here today. Please welcome Carolyn Taylor.
Thank you all so much. And it is such, as I said the other day, a joy to be with everyone for the first time in person in 3 years. Can we start my slides, please? I'm going to be brief a bit because I think we're all a bit saturated. So I don't want to talk too much. I just want to run over a little bit about the history of CBCS and our relationship with ICANSERVE, who has done an incredible job as our host this year. So where do we go next? I think we've had an amazing 2 days, about to start our 3rd day. But where do we go next? This is the 6th one. We keep building, building, building. And we look, so the first time I came to meet Kara was in 2014, and I met Kara and Lonnie, the other founder who's no longer with us, and I think I really want to pay tribute to Lonnie. She was an incredible force for ICANSERVE, and don't make me cry too. But I think, we want to recognize the incredible work that ICANSERVE does here in the Philippines, that they do not just for breast cancer patients, but for their families and for the community, and the services they provide, the hope and the love they provide to everyone. And they've done the most incredible job with CBCS. And I think, they've raised the bar another notch. Indonesia did an amazing job last year hosting our first virtual, but they've really raised the bar for Vietnam next year. And this, again, so I am very familiar with the program. I came and started, even presented at CBCS 2018 for ICANSERVE. So we've had a very long relationship, and we are so proud to have this relationship with ICANSERVE. So looking back at what CBCS is and what its intentions are and what the goals have been, sorry, there's my monitor. I can't read that far away. I'm getting too old. So in partnership with Dr. Chang Har Yip, who's here today, and Dr. Tum in Vietnam, we started CBCS in 2016 to really look at what we could do to bring more awareness and education and supportive services to the region. You know, there's a lot of efforts directed in other countries, other places, other regions, but really very little was focused on the ASEAN countries. And what we really wanted to look at too was bridging this gap between the clinical community and the patient community. And I think CBCS has been really successful at that. You know, we bring together clinicians and policymakers and advocates to really work together to improve breast cancer care and services. You know, we really look at the challenges in the region, partnering, what the value of academic and advocate relationships. We've looked at early and late stage diagnosis and how to improve capacity, both clinically and for advocates. Some of the highlights, you know, have been this coalition and alliance building among everybody who participates. We strengthen and expand services, and this really improving patient and provider communication, and like I said, bridging that gap between the clinical side and the patient advocates. So here is a little bit of a brief history of CBCS. So in 2016, we started in Vietnam. We had about 250 participants. 2017, we had wonderful hosts with the Xuan Yang Hin Si Cancer Foundation in Myanmar. And I think we had about 500 participants there. Really a wonderful, wonderful time. And then in 2018, our Chang Har and Ranjit were fantastic hosts in Kuching in Malaysia. 2019 took us to Thailand. And then 2020, obviously, COVID hit, and we had to put a halt to everything. But 2021, our Indonesian partners were amazing, hosted the first virtual one, and you know, put us back into where we're going. But so today, the number is incredible. We had a total registration of almost 2,200 people. That is a phenomenal number. Huge conferences, you know, very important medical conferences don't get that many participants. And I think it's just a testimony to our work over the past 6 years and how we're going to move forward too. The number of survivors, 533. We had really a lot of clinicians, so nurses, healthcare workers, doctors, and then government officials too. Lots of presentations. And our partners. So this is some of the international partners, not everyone. We thank ASCO so much for their support, bringing in clinicians, helping liaison that American Society of Clinical Pathology. Dr. Brock has been with us from the beginning as well, and Dr. Graylow. And we welcome new Dr. Dizon and new people coming in. Is Mylan here? Dr. Torres as well for coming all the way to the Philippines. And IARC has joined us, WHO this year. Really happy to have Isabel here sharing the information about what the region really looks like from a data point of view. UICC has been an incredible partner. Nursing Society, you know, just lots and lots of people to thank, too many people to thank. So a quick slide. And then, you know, our partners, our supporting partners, so Pfizer, Roche, everyone. I particularly want to thank Neil Wildman from Pfizer. He has supported us since the very first CBCS in 2016, which he also attended. So he's always been here to support us. And we just so appreciate it, Neil. Thank you so much. So some of the things we've looked at, right, over the past few days, happiness, you know, obviously the medical and policy, peer support, AI, all different areas. But what I think I came to see is really this equity gap that still exists. So for me, this overarching, where we look at these brand new, innovative treatments, but how are we going to put them in place? It's not fair. It's not equitable. It's not equitable for patients. It's not equitable for clinicians. We want to know what the latest things are, but really, there's also an ethical issue to this too, right? An ethical component. Like, is it fair that there are these treatments and these services, but not everyone can access them? And are things being put in place in private hospitals that aren't available in public hospitals? Should that happen? Or should we build capacity, look to do that for the public hospitals more and make things more equitable? So it's just something I really have been thinking about as I see the presentations and I see what's coming and what's available, but that it's just not equal. And we've got to do more to advocate for that, for that equity, for being included across the whole continuum of cancer care. So let's see how we can do that together. So again, how do we move forward? How do we look at this? How do we take the lessons we've learned here? And how do we keep moving Southeast Asia Breast Cancer Symposium forward? It's wonderful. We all come together and we are so happy to see each other and learn these new things. But how can we galvanize this energy and these efforts to really move forward and move the needle and change these issues with equity? Really advocate for change. So, there's ways we can look at doing partnerships regionally, coalition building, and trying to build these things. We're going to talk a lot more about it later with Ranjit and a panel of doctors and advocates, really thinking about taking the lessons we've learned here today. How can we partner? Maybe one country presented on something you really liked, and reach out to them and ask, how do we move that here? How can we work together to move it forward? How can we all pool together to be a stronger voice in the region? So I hope everyone really takes that to heart and we continue to move forward. And then we'll see you next year in Hue in Vietnam for our 7th Southeast Asia Breast Cancer Symposium. So again, I can't thank ICANSERVE enough because they were so amazing, such wonderful hosts. The program was so rich and full, and they've been wonderful partners to work with also. And thank you all so much, and we'll see you next year.